I are live. Can somebody from the audience just kindly put a thumbs up in that chat to let me know that you're hearing me loud and clear before I start telling you my life story? Alex has kicked off. That is beautiful. Now, we did have some microphone issues, so we've got George's headphone mic, but thankfully, my good friend Darren will be doing most of the intelligent conversation today, so you don't need to rely on me having a good mic. We're just going to give it one extra minute to let some people come in. But in essence, today we're really going to be digging into one topic, which is going to be video ads. We're not going to talk about all of the infinite number of tools that are available to you to make video ads. We're just going to focus on Canva. And we're very lucky to have Darren here to help us with that. So without further ado, I'll introduce myself. For those who don't know, my name is George Reed. I traditionally have run an agency called George's Blog, which is now GB Media, and the side hobby and passion project was AMZ Design Kit, which is all about how do we lower the cost for brands, create great designs in less time, and then at scale. And one of the things that's come from that is creating these templates. And as these video ads have become so much more popular, we're getting a lot of feedback from customers of the kit saying, how do we just make that whole process easier to create brilliant video ads? A lot of our clients are also then saying, we haven't got video ads for you to go and upload as campaigns. So we're seeing this problem across the board with both agencies, brands alike, freelancers, and today's whole conversation is going to be about helping you solve that, whether you're an AI, sorry, I saw an AI note taker come through, whether you're an agency or whether you're a freelancer or whether you're a brand, whatever position you're in, we're going to be able to help you with it. So that's my background. Let me hand you over now over to Darren.
Okay, hi, I'm Darren. I'm a Canva verified expert. So I work with Canva. I get to kind of beta test things. I've been using Canva inside and out. So for quite a few years now. I also do create templates on Canva for Canva. So I'm a Canva creator as well as a Canva verified expert. So I kind of live and breathe Canva right now. So I've been working with George to put together some assets, which you'll be able to see in the design kit there. And we're going to work through that today to kind of show you how to edit all of that. But that's a little bit about me. I'm going to hand you back to George as to what you're going to get through from today's webinar.
So first and foremost, the objective is this, for you to be able to leave today's conversation with a solid understanding of why video ads are very important and the benefit they can be. But not just that, it's how do you then have something which you can pick up and go to start creating video ads immediately. A lot of the feedback we got on that questionnaire I asked was, how long does it currently take you? And traditionally, we're seeing between 2 and 4 hours it's taking people to create a video, which is simply too long. I understand there's AI tools out there, which is great, but it's just never quite hitting the mark. And that's going to be some of the theory we'll talk about. The next step we'll then look at is split testing video. Okay, so why do we want to split test? And the actual process for split testing, we'll be going through that. And then we'll be talking about some of the free templates we'll be releasing to, even if you're not an Amazon Design Kit user, we'll be then sharing some templates with you so you can actually get started with exactly what we've gone through today. And hopefully by the end of it, you've got a roadmap then for the rest of this year with Q4 and many different sales coming up, including the one we've just had. So next slide, if you please, Darren. First and foremost, let's talk a little bit about theory of what's going to make a very strong ad. And the way I like to think about this is the first 2 seconds needs to solve that customer's problem. So if we think about maybe we're suffering from bloating at the moment, the problem you're experiencing is bloating, how are we going to solve that for a customer straight away? And you've probably got your list of keywords that you've set up for each product which solve the customer's problem. So we want to get that keyword in the customer's face as soon as possible based on their exact search terms. So we're going to have different search terms, you're going to have different campaigns set up. We want to get those big keywords in there and solve their problem immediately. We also then want to be setting up multiple variations because Yes, we can variate that keyword, but what we might also then do is variate the following things that happen after that keyword is introduced, which could be the lifestyle image we use, or it could be whether we use a more aggressive video or just a series of moving pictures in essence. Finally, if we think about Amazon search results, it's obviously quite plain and standard with a lot of whites and blacks in there. So what we're looking to do is interrupt that straight away. So when they're scrolling on mobile, we're able to interrupt. We call it a pattern interrupt. And then the final piece is how do we look to cross-sell? So some of the things that we have with a video is not just introducing one item, which we've traditionally been able to do with the normal ads, but also saying, look, we're a brand that doesn't just solve bloating. If we keep that example, we're also able to solve some of these other problems you might be facing. So if we have the engagement from the user, let's try and use that to cross-sell and increase the return on investment if we're able to get them back to the storefront and get some of those bundles going. Now, please change slide, Darren.
Cool.
Now it's a case of let's just look at the numbers a little bit of comparing video for sponsor brand versus image. Okay, so we're not going to spend too much time on this data because I'm going to share all of this with you. But from our own data and Amazon's own, what we're seeing is the click-through rate on video versus custom image is 3 times higher. The new to brand metrics is greater than if we just use a custom image. And the return on investment, as you can see, our stat number 3 there, we're seeing roughly 149% versus 99% in comparison when we compare those two image types. So again, we're going to go on to a little bit more theory and then we're going to come into the practical, but I just want to give you that slide for you to have later on. So Darren, if you slide across again, please. And one more time. Now, what Amazon have given us, because we were working with Amazon to prepare this presentation, is a little bit more data on a category level. And it's very important, this comes back to theory, not just to compare yourselves against others, because if we compare ourselves against others, we can see if we're in the home category, we might look great. But if we compare ourselves against others in the supplements category, our ads maybe don't look good. So we really want to compare ourselves against other categories for the sake of quality of content. However, when it comes to metrics, Amazon are very helpful, and they've released some information on a category level of whether we want short videos, medium or long videos, and also what makes those videos stand out. So if we just look on the left-hand side of the page, we can see short video, they're deeming that 6 to 15 seconds, medium 16 to 30. Now, in the beauty category, which is this slide here, they're seeing a 15% average click-through rate for short videos versus a 12% average click-through rate for medium videos. There's more information on this slide. We're not going to dig into it right now. We've got 4 more slides just like this, which compares different categories. Now, what you want to do after this is just go through this information in your own time, just to see if how do you compare and benchmark against the competition or the average, and what length videos you should be creating based on your category. Now, I believe, Darren, it comes over to you. I've done my bit, and you're going to go and make some nice videos.
Yes, so the live demo time, showing you how we're going to take some of the elements that we've created and how you can then update those to make your own videos and kind of like combine them together. So we're going to assume you've got some level of knowledge of Canva. This isn't a kind of like a newbie kind of like level that we're going to pitch this at, but we do have in the training some other kind of like guided kind of like beginner stuff that you can go through under the training section. But we're going to grab some of the templates or the components that we've created for you, and we're going to change the images. We're going to add some video, and we're going to show you how you can add the animation elements into those, and you can update the copy on those templates as well for your own brand. And basically, yeah, walk through and edit this template, and at the end of this we will have a Q&A session. So yeah, if you just let us know if you have any questions at the end, that would be good. But yeah, let's get on with the testing. That's the next slide. What we want is for me to slide that off to the edge. Okay, So you'll see when you come into the Amazon design kit, you can see you've got the courses down here, and there's some training in there that I've put together already for George and for you yourselves. I'm showing you how to update certain elements inside of Canva. Now, when you come to these different components. We're going to take these. All you do is you click copy to Canva, and then when you open up your Canva page, that's going to then come up and it'll look a little bit something, a little bit different. It look a little bit like this. So hopefully you can see that, and it'll say use this template in a new design. That's going to then open that up for you, and it'll look like this. So this is just where I've opened it up already in there, and we can see as we click play on this, what we've got is we've got some static images, which, as you say, doesn't look too attention grabbing at the moment, but we've then got it and it opens up. And if I just grab that, I can then slide over this transition we've got. So what we're going to do, you can see there, you've got the text that moves up to the top, the logo that comes down, and then the images that slide off to the side. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to actually replace this or these images here with some video instead. So we've got that attention grabbing kind of level of things. And George, if you do need to jump in and say anything as I'm going through, do just jump in on there. But we're going to come over. We've got all our assets uploaded here already. So we're going to come over to our demo brand. We're using Merwave, and we've got our videos. Now we've got a video here that's 53 seconds long. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to actually put this, pause that there because it's got some audio on there. Now, if you do have video with audio on there, but you don't want the audio on it, you can click up to the audio, and you can either extract the audio, which will put it on a different line for you, or you can just mute. For this case, we're going to just click on mute. Okay, and you'll see what's happened where I've actually done or added this video. You can see it's actually changed that frame to 53 seconds. So if I click undo, you'll see the actual clip we want is 4.5 seconds. Okay, so if I just click redo again, so we're going to click and add this into the section here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to zoom out into this. When you come and see this originally, it'll probably look a little bit more like this kind of level. You can see down in the bottom here, you can zoom in either on the actual thumbnail, or you can zoom in onto the timeline. So you can zoom in onto the timeline here, and we want to change this timeline down to 4.5 seconds. Now I can drag, or you can drag the corners or the edges down like this, or when you click on the video, you can climb up to the snippet here, and you can change the timing or the bit of the video that you want in there as well to 4.5 seconds. So you can just type in there 4.5. Okay, but the reason it's got slightly different, and the reason we want to put 5 seconds in there, is because you'll see down in the bottom it's actually taking half a second over during the transition. So we can make sure that we actually clip that, which is why I tend to use the trimming or the clipping of the edges down there instead. I'm going to zoom in again so you can see this, so it's not too small on there for you. Okay, so now we've got that. What we can do as well, if we click on the scissors, we can then click and drag this around, so we can choose a particular part of the video that we want to actually use in the video. So if we want to use this bit here, which way? Let's use, I think it was part of this was where we were scrunching it up. There we go. We're going to use this video, this little bit of the video here where we're scrunching it up. Okay, now we've got that bit of the video. We want to also change the other side. So we're adding video in there, so it's getting that attention. We grab the first video. We're going to pause, and again, I'm going to click on audio and mute the audio on that. Okay, you're going to click and drag that into there. And again, down here, if we zoom out again, we can then change this down to 4.5 seconds. Okay, so I'm just dragging that down to 4.5 seconds. Again, you click on the video, and then you can click on edit the video or trim, and then choose a different part of the video. So we kind of like, let's say we want to have a kind of like a more finished kind of like product. So you kind of showing them what it looks like when it's finished. So that's what we've got on there. We've changed those 2 videos, but you'll see now that we've updated and changed those videos, that transition doesn't happen. Now, the reason for this is that we actually need to put those 2 same assets or those 2 videos on the second page so that it knows to actually transition. And it's like keyframing. If you've ever done video editing or anything else like that, it's a bit like keyframing. So we're going to come on here, and if we come over to the position, you can see we've got these 2 original elements here. Now, the reason they don't show on the second screen is because they're actually just off the screen there. So if I click and hold down the shift key, you'll see that the actual original images that we had are there, but we have to kind of like push them off to the side. Now, you'll notice that in here there is a little kind of like handle, if you like, and that's connected to the image so that we can actually push that off the image. If we didn't have that handle there and we pushed it off to the edge, it actually just disappears from the canvas. So by having the actual invisible handle, and all this is we've just changed down the transparency. It literally is a square block, if you like, that's attached to the video element. Excuse me. So we just changed the transparency down that, and by holding down the shift key, we can just slide that left and right, and it won't move it up and down. Okay, so just by holding that off to the edge. Okay, but what we want to do is we want to actually take these first 2 videos. Okay, so I'm going to take these 2, and I'm just going to click Control copy, and then we're going to come to the second video again. Okay, I'm going to come over to position, and I'm going to delete these 2. Okay, and then paste the other 2 in. Now, what we need to do on these 2 now is actually move them down below where we've got the logo. So you need to think about how the layers are. If you have them on top, you kind of sometimes can get this kind of like blurring effect. So on the second page, if you like, now what we need to do is we need to actually move these off to the side. So I'm going to hold down the shift key and move them off to the side. Okay, so we can do that for that one, and then also for the second one, hold that off just to the side. Okay, so we can see now we've copied those first elements on from the first page onto the second page. When we click play, and if you do get that little spinny, that's just sometimes it's a Canva thing. With Canva being a web-based editor, it will depend on your internet speed. So we can just click play. Okay, and I'm going to click play from about here. So you can see now that it actually does those opening up, or that opening up section. And you can see that what we've got is we've got the text also from the first one, from the first page. You can see this text also transitions and moves up to the top, and it also changes color. So you can, as long as it's the same text, you can change the size of it and the color and the position of it on the screen or on your page. So you can see it transitions from white to pink. So it kind of like helps stand out on there. And also you'll see where if we come onto the first page again and click on position, you can see that I've actually got that reveal image hidden behind underneath those other layers on here. So that reveal image that you want to have has also got to be on the first page as well, so that when the 2 slides open up, it reveals that page or that element underneath. Now, I'm hoping that all makes perfect sense for you, because we can also then have a look at the logo. So if I just come back to the presentation and grab my logo, so I'm just copying this over from here. You can just come over, you can click on your project and pick it up from your assets, but I'm just going to click it up from another page. Okay, so we're going to click paste on there. So we've got this Canva verified expert. So you'll see where I'm moving that around the screen, it automatically locks into some of these frames, if you like. But in order to not have that happen, you can either drop it on top of another asset so it doesn't like drop into the frame. But let's say you wanted it here in the middle. If you press the command key on a keyboard or the alt key on a Windows machine, it's the one next to the space bar on the left hand side, you can see that now doesn't drop it into the frame, and it allows me to put that anywhere I want on the screen. So I'm just going to put it over here, because it kind of like, the idea with the templates is it gives you an idea of where to actually position things. So whether that's your logos, your copy, or anything else like that, it kind of just gives you an idea of what to do or where to put those things. Now, to make sure that we're not, if this is like your own brand assets, you wouldn't want the Merwave logo in there. You just come over to the layers panel. So you come over to the position and over to the layers panel, and then you can just click delete on that, and it deletes that off there. But now we want to have my logo again on here. Okay, so we're just going to click and delete the Merwave one. Okay, we're going to paste my logo in. Okay, and this would be your brand logo, and we want to make that bigger. Okay, and we can see what we've got happening now is when that opens up, the logo gets bigger. Now, the reason this is doing this is because we've got a transition in the middle between these two pages. We've got a transition, and you can choose different transitions. Now, the one that does this, where it kind of like allows you to zoom up and change and things like that, is called match and move. And you can change the speed of the transition if you want. So you can make it slightly longer, you can make it slightly shorter. I find that 1 second between the two clips for short videos like you'll be creating kind of tends to work best with regards to kind of like keeping viewers' attention and things like that. That's what I feel on that. So that's how you can change those. But let's say we wanted to make this video longer. We can see at the moment this video is 9 seconds long, but let's say we wanted to grab something else. Let's say we have these other assets, and this is another asset that we've got inside of the design kit. We can see it's here. Now you just copy to Canva, click on the copy to Canva, and then paste that into your URL, and that's going to then open it up. And when you first open it up, I'll just click copy to Canva. If I click a new bar, click paste, you can see, because we own the template on this, it's saying, do you want to edit the template? And that'll be something, if you've created your own templates, you could create the original or edit the original template. But if you want to then use that in a design, you'd actually say, use this template for a new design. So we're going to click on use this template for a new design, and that's going to open up this page, which is the same. It's exactly the same as this page. It's just got frames 1 and 2. I'm just going to click delete. I'll close that panel. So now we've got, again, 2 other assets there, but how do we now add these onto our design that we've already started creating? Well, the easiest way to do this is if you come down in the corner here, you can see you've got grid view. If you come to grid view and highlight these 2 frames, if you like, or pages, okay, and we're going to just click Control C, and then we're going to come over to grid view over here as well, and we're going to click Control V, and it naturally or automatically adds those 2 extra frames into our original video. Now, to get back to the actual full view, we'll just click on the frame element down, or the grid view again, and it will come back to that. The other option is you can just double click on any of the pages and it'll open up that area for you. And again, if you want to zoom up, so if you wanted to zoom up and get closer in there, you can do. You can come all the way up to 500% to get a little bit more detailed. And there's all sorts of little techniques and tips and tricks to making sure that you've got all of your elements aligned. But there we've got those 2 elements now on here. And we can see the difference between this one is we've got a different transition. So if I just zoom up a little bit more here, you can see we've got a different transition in here. We've got a slide transition. So what's happening on this one, if we come over to the position and the layers panel again, we've got our photo here that is just sliding over. Okay, so that's what's happening there. And then in the second one, we've got our position. Okay, so it's just got those elements and they just slide over, and that's just by changing this slide option here. So it moves the elements on page 1, moves them over, and then the new elements come on, and it gives that impression. It's just like, it's like a presentation, but with some added extra little bits in there. Now, there was something else that I was going to show on this slide, and I've totally gone blank on it. Can you remember, George, what it was?
I believe you can look at changing the transition type. But also you were looking at maybe changing the text and the animation on the text based on
Yes.
what you fancy.
Yeah. Thank you. I've got my notes covered up on my other screen, so I just totally forgot, and I couldn't find the my notes there for a second. Thank you. So what we've got is you can change the transition on this. So you could change to a dissolve, and it's like a fade. You can have like a color wipe. So if you've got your brand colors in there, you could add a color wipe. And you can change your brand colors on here. You can just click those, and if you've got your brand kit set up, you can then choose from your brand kit colors down here as to what colors you want in that transition. And you can also change the direction of this, so it's up, down, left, right. You've also got some diagonal swipes as well there, so you can change all of these things so it keeps the viewer engaged on that side. Now the other option that you'll see is when it comes to timing, you'll see if we've got this that comes over, you see the transition happens. Now what we want to do is we have this text then that comes on after that transition has happened. Now if you don't automatically see this, the way that you would see this is you'd click on the actual text, click on the three dots, and you'd actually have show timing. If I click hide timing and do this, because I've been playing about with it, it was already showing the timing. So you click on the actual text, click on the three dots, and then you click show timing. And that's going to have these two text boxes, so that we can now grab this playhead here, so we can see if we just do this kind of like almost frame by frame, we can say like, well, actually we want the text to come on here. If for any reason you wanted to do that differently, you can just drag the text back, and you can have it just at the beginning of the actual frame. But what we've got there is we've got it just coming on just as that transition stops, gives people time to kind of like view what's on there, and then the extra text comes on. And there are also, when it comes to the text animations, there's all sorts of little different text animations that you can add on here. We've got burst on there at the moment, you can see at the top here. So you've got all sorts of different text animations that you can add on here and play about with all of these depending on what you want it to look like. The idea is just you wouldn't mix in and have kind of like roll on one and burst on another. It just would be a bit too jarring, I would have thought. But you can have kind of like, all these different kind of like text animation options, and it'll give you some suggestions. So it'll kind of like have a look at your design and what you've done, and it'll have some suggestions. You've got typewriter. And again, when it comes to typewriter, you can have it on just on enter, or you can have it on enter and exit. Generally, with these, I find having on just enter is the better option, because that will mean that it's not then animating off, it just will then transition. Okay, so you can then change that by character or by word. You can change the speed of the actual animation of the text, and you can also apply animations to images as well. So you can see on this one, we don't have an animation on the actual image, so it comes up with animate as an option. If we click on that, we can say we could have the image pan on, so it's not just the transitions between each of the frames, you can actually have animations on the page as well. And by showing the timing of the animations, you can have those elements on the page time and join at different points on there. So hopefully all of that makes sense, because yeah, there's a lot to Canva, and I think if you start playing about with some of these assets, you can see as you copy them into Canva, I've done different versions. So on here you can see you've got like version 1 and then version 1.1. I made it kind of like a little bit more on there, so you can see it kind of like that one's just the images and it opens up. This one we've got the logo and the text that adds on there, and then this one 1.2 we've got the actual video on there as well. So you can copy those over to Canva, and you can, the best thing to do is when you're looking at these is to look at it from under the position menu, and you can see all of the different layers, and you can actually edit each of those layers as you need to. So you can click on them, you can move the layers around on these, so you can move them around. So it doesn't make too much difference on this one. But let's say we had shampoo on here, but we wanted that below the image for some reason. You can do that. And then what you can have is you can actually hide things on, say, screen 1 and behind an image. And then on page 2, you can do the match and move and have it come out from behind the image. So if I showed you that quickly, so if I just quickly duplicated this page, this is unplanned training that I just thought about here that's hopefully helping. So what we've got now is we've got that shampoo on there. And what we can do on this page here is we can say, well, actually, we want to bring that in over here. Okay. And we'd then click on the transition and we'd add in there the match and move. Okay. And you can see, so as we've got that in there, you can see now that the shampoo looks like it kind of like floats in from behind the image. So that's kind of like how the match and move element works. Hopefully I've not overcomplicated that for you. And that makes sense.
I think,
yeah.
Sorry to jump in, Darren.
No, that's cool.
I mean,
I could go on for hours. You know this.
I know you could, and that's the danger is people don't have 15 hours today to go through every single variation. But I think one of the things that we've worked really hard on is what we're doing with the components is we're not looking to give you a full video per se, although you could treat these as a full short video. What we've actually done is we've looked at some Amazon data. We've then looked at some video ads that are standing out really great on the page based on what me and a number of other experts deemed standing out great on the page. And we've seen of that 15-second video or 30-second video, what small components of it do we think are really good, and view these like Lego bricks. And we've gone and designed those Lego bricks and then created small variations of them, which means you can, just like Darren's done there, pick 2 bricks, pair them together and give yourself a 25-second video. What you can then go do is go, let me just look to create small split tests, small changes in what we're doing. And that probably brings us quite nicely on. We'll do some Q&As afterwards, but this brings us nicely on to the split testing bit right down. So if you grab that slide again, I'll go back to our lovely presentation.
We go present. Okay, that was the live demo. Cool. Split testing.
So I got one of our advertising managers to pull this up. We've been experimenting a little bit to try and understand what we find the best and fairest way to run an experiment is. And when we think about this, what we want to ensure we're doing is we're just testing the creative. So that's why we're creating different ads inside of the same campaign, inside of the same ad group. So if you create your first one, which this screen shows us here, create ad number 1, and then we swipe this screen across, please, Darren.
Yep.
Then inside of that same ad group, we want to upload the same video. This ensures all of our targeting is going to remain the same. As a result, we are just testing creative only. So if you want to understand for one set of keywords, whether we open with a big keyword or whether we open with a big lifestyle image, and that's the split test you want to run. We don't want to do that across multiple ad groups where there's loads of different keywords mixing it up. We want to create it quite simple just for the purpose of testing. So Prem's kindly gone through and done a very simple, clean step-by-step. And again, you're going to get these slides. I'll send them through. But this means with all of the components we've given you, you can then go, I'm going to try opening component 1 and opening component 2. The content will be the same. I'm just testing animations. Or maybe I'm just using component 1, but I'm going to variate the video selection. Darren gave a 40-second video and he chopped it up into 4.5 seconds. We played around with the introduction there. Did we want to introduce with her putting stuff through her hair, or did we want to introduce with her blow drying her hair? And that's a really good test to go, which is going to resonate with the audience most? What's going to grab attention, stop the scroll? So This should be a nice little step-by-step. Amazon are then going to give us, I don't know if there's a third slide here. I think there is a third slide. There we go. Yeah. Amazon are then going to give us the data on which video is basically performing best. So we're going to get click-through rate, we're going to get sales, return on investment, or ad spend, I should say. The video through rate, I think it's called, which is like how far through the video they get. All of this information is going to become available. You can then go back to the Canva document file and go, let me tweak some of my others. And you're essentially looking to build a brand guideline for your team. Say, we've done some tests and over 50 grand that's been spent in ads. We're finding that this is the formula that's working for us right now. But being aware that in 3 months' time, you might look to variate that again and go, let's just test again, because we're going to continuously, as we see new components coming in, we're going to continuously look to variate the style of the templates and components that we're making available to you. All of this, yeah, like Darren said there, is all going to be in the replay. And naturally, any questions you've got on the split testing side of things, Prem did just join, but any questions on that we can fire away. I'm now just going to jump over to the Q&As. What's the optimum amount of split testing to run simultaneously? Prem, are you online still? Did I just see you come? Or he's gone again now? Fantastic. It is quite late in the evening for Prem. That question is probably one for the ads team, to be honest. We want to focus today more on the creative side of things, but in terms of the optimal amount of split testing to run, it can depend, really. It depends how much budget you've got to put behind it. Obviously, we want to put a decent amount of money behind it rather than, okay, we spent $5 and let's just look at the results. That's probably not enough. Equally, I'd just say start with two which are contrasting. So maybe you start with one with an image opening and one with just text opening, and then just starting small like that and looking to build kind of your knowledge base. And the other piece around that, I view it, is design decisions. So once you've made a design decision once, add that decision to your Bible. So you will see Darren at the start showed us his Canva icon, which is Darren and his face in the middle. He made that design decision once, and then he uses that thumbnail over and over. So when you make a decision on some of your logos or icons, look to reuse some of those, and maybe don't change too many things at once as you're running those split tests. Change one or two things, put a bit of budget behind it, run it for, let's say, a week, basically until you've got enough data. And you might go on day one, we've got a lot of money behind it because we're a big spender. We're immediately seeing, okay, this is a clear winner. Let's just shut the other one down. And if you think and make the comparison to those who have played in the meta ads world, what they've done on social for years now, which Amazon is still behind, is it's just a game of testing creative. And that's where we're getting to with Amazon as well. What you want to be doing is just rolling out different creative ideas, using these components we're going to give you to make it faster to do that, and just give it some money and see what the data says, and then make your next decision. And the objective, I know a lot of you said you're making these every month. I know you're saying it's taking you 2 to 4 hours. Hopefully today that can reduce the time it takes to create that. Any more questions? I've come back to the chat and all I'm seeing is compliments towards Darren, which is totally fair. Any kind of specific Canva questions that maybe can be tackled by Darren just while we're on the phone or while we're on the call, and he can answer anything you need, do drop them in. Otherwise, we can naturally follow this up with whatever training's needed as well. I think while we haven't got any questions, maybe just a simple thumbs up in the chat if this has been valuable to you. We've got some nice comments coming in, so just a simple thumbs up to see, was this what you were hoping for from today? And then we'll send a follow-up survey as well that, what do you want next, basically. Our objective is to keep creating content, keep creating templates, keep trying to help you achieve that goal of create brilliant designs in less time for less money at scale. And that is the whole objective of the design kit. So I understand that Darren is expert on Canva editing. Yes, he is. If you prepare some SOPs of how to edit a video would be great value for us. Now, with that SOP there, Alex, would that be more beneficial video form, or would it be more beneficial as uh, a PDF form, let's say? What are you looking for when you say, I need some support? These are the best practices, these are the standard operating procedures. Is that video, Loom videos? We can drop it inside our course that we've got online here, or what exactly is that?
That'd be good to know. Yeah, because there is the course here, which was editing a video and a replay of this video as well. Are you going to put that in here as well, George? Is that going to go in here?
Yeah, the site may shut down if I try and drop a 30-minute long video, but we can test its capabilities. But I'll also put that video on YouTube as well, just so others can view.
Yeah.
And I think whilst Darren, you've got the presentation up, I'll get to the additional questions. But you've got a link for your Canva, and then those who aren't a member of the kit, you can sign up to the kit there. It's only $8.99 a month. That's going to give you all of the templates for A+, infographics, storefronts, videos. It's going to give you 30,000 design examples. And then Darren's also got his Canva Pro link there as well. What layout options available in Canva that best showcase product features and benefits for A+ content? Good question, Arsan. I think what I found it's quite difficult with Canva for creating A+ per se, because you essentially do need to view it like components. And when I say a component, I mean what we've shown a little bit today of we're not giving you the whole thing. We're just looking to create the one banner. Layout options, do you mean, I'm not quite sure what you mean by that question, to be honest. But what we can do and what I've been looking to do is for those who find something they like in the design examples to then go, right, can you make this for us in Canva? Yeah, Darren there showing some of the templates. Video form, Alex, yes, we can definitely add SOPs for Canva inside of that course we've already created. I think what really helps us is when we use WhatsApp a lot for polling people on what they'd like next with all assets of the design kit. So if you're saying, I want an SOP, we're going to ask some poll questions saying, what would you like within that? And then you can vote, and that's going to dictate what Darren and I can then go create. So the WhatsApp group, I only look to post once a week. You can join it from inside the design kit. There's just a community button. We'll ask questions saying, what do you want to learn next about Canva? You vote, Darren and I go knock our heads together and make it.
Yeah. So that was the community tab there. Cool.
Yeah, and then we'll see, does Canva have images and videos we can use for our own videos? Darren, probably best to answer that. Do we have content we can take from Canva?
So there is stock videos. You can come under to the apps, and then there's photos. And because mine's already popped out the side here, it says video down the side here as well. So there is stock images and stock photos that you can use. There are rules around how that can and can't be used. Generally, if you click on, let's just add a photo, a random photograph. Let's do this one. If you click on the three dots here and then click on the info, it'll tell you normally where they've moved that. Oh, there you go, free. So this one's free. You can click on the information and it'll tell you what you can use it for. But just be aware of standard terms and conditions inside of Canva. There's a certain resolution and certain things you can and can't do with images and elements in Canva. But I'm not a lawyer, so I can't advise you legally fully on that side, just to cover myself. But they are in there, and as I say, if you click on the info button, it'll tell you. So again, it's the three dots, info, and then where it says free. Okay, this is just a free image because there are pro images as well in there. And again, if you are using Canva Pro, you'll see some of those. these are all seem to be free images that I've got come up here at the moment. There you go. If I click on Pro, you'll see that the Pro images have a little crown next to them. And again, if you click on the three dots, come down to Info, you'll see free for Canva Teams and Canva Pro accounts. Click on the information and it'll tell you what it's available for, and you can learn more about the license by clicking on this little link here and work that out from there. Hopefully that helps.
And then another question from Waseed. Normally people have essentially only got the product shot. I completely understand that. We've used examples today where we've replaced a video with a video. And when I say video, I mean a person using the product.
Yeah.
With regards to that, what we've actually found from the ads that we've ran, and we've ran them extensively since they were launched, is we found great success from very simple videos that doesn't necessarily require us to have a user creating a video of the product or a professional shoot. It can be static images, so a before and after of someone, their hair frizzy before and smooth waves afterwards. And that could be a lifestyle image, so just someone snaps it on their phone, or even just a simple case of using generic stock images for that. We haven't found it necessary to have high quality production level media within the videos that we're making. And it's simple has worked fine, and we've done a lot of tests on that. Rebecca's asked, how can we copy to Canva for Amazon Design Kit? Can you show how to input the copy to Canva? Aaron.
Yeah. So when we're down under the elements, or yes, elements, isn't it? You'll see if you filter by template and you filter by Canva, you've got this little copy to Canva button. And what that does is that's a template link. So when you then paste that into a browser, anything like that, you just click that on there and it'll come up, and for yourselves, it'll say use template as a new design. Where did I put that menu? It'll come up like this, but with the part that you've added. Click on use template for a new design, and I'm just in a different account on this, which is why I see it like that. So I just open it up in there. This is just my normal account. So then you'd come in, edit that in there, and change however you want to do it. You'd then, because this is a copy of the template, you want to make sure that you then save this in some kind of like structured way. So you can then come and click, if you click file and move to folder, then just save it into a folder however you want. When George and I were talking the other day, we said that you might want to change and put your ASIN number in there and say it's version 1. And then when you're doing your A/B testing, you have version 1.1 or something like that. And you then have those all in a file structure so that you've got your projects. This is not the account, this is the account. You'd have all of your projects ready. So if you have them here, you'd then have your folders, demo brand. So if you've got your SB video, you can see it be ASIN name, and then you just say that's a folder. And then inside of here, inside of this folder, you'd have video 1 and video 2. And if you wanted to create a third one, the easiest way to do that is not to open it up, but to click on the 3 dots and then click make a copy. Okay, and that will then make a copy inside of that folder, change the name of it to be ASIN name 3, go in, do your changes, and you've then got videos 1, 2, and 3 all inside of that folder. That's the best way to stay organized with that side of things. Hopefully that helps with that.
Brilliant.
Copying it. Yeah.
Okay, if we haven't got any more questions, I would just say finish on that slide. If you're not a member of the kit, I believe most people are, please join the kit. If you haven't got Canva Pro yet, there's a link to join it. And if you get the opportunity in that WhatsApp group to leave us some feedback on what you would like next, that's going to be helpful. Naturally, also feel free to just email me at hello@georges.blog, and that could be a nice route to speak to that Darren as well In the future, we're thinking about maybe doing some video creation packages just for those who go, I want it done now, and I want 10 of them quickly. Darren's working on some packages for that, which we can share. But the easiest route of communication is sorry, it is hello@georges.blog. So just drop me an email. Yeah. Anything final from you, Darren?
No, I just want to say thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure showing you all how to edit these templates inside of Canva. Hopefully it helps, and I'd love to hear any feedback that you've got, any questions you've got that you might think about in the future, and look forward to doing more training with you all.
Brilliant.
So yeah, thank you.
Cheers, folks. Speak soon. Bye-bye.
Bye. Cool. I leave us.